Welcome, Weekend Toast, back again. Unfortunately, for the second week in a row, there's only 3 out of 4 of us, but fortunately, we have a great picture of what Josh will look like if he ever decides to open a used bookstore. So,
For sure.
who is this guy?
He's a German guy who in his car, his whole Instagram is devoted to it's him in his car and he sings rap songs like American pop songs of all kinds. And it just reminds me of Josh back when he would sing Walk a Flock of Flame in a Disney tune
Yes,
or a show choir tune.
I think I heard him once sing Flow Rida to Whole New World, and it was fantastic. Isaiah, you apparently really liked that used bookstore joke.
It was just it was that joke that I didn't expect the second layer. I thought you were just gonna say this is what Josh will look like, and I thought you were gonna say something about glasses, and then you did books.
And Josh has admittedly said that he, the first time I showed him this guy, he was like, is that my dad? What's my dad doing on Instagram? Apparently it looks remarkably like Josh's dad, but I'll have to send you a video later because even the style of the way that he sings in his car is just, you're like, that's Josh. That's him. And he's German. So,
well, at least he's not a picture of a llama. So,
yeah.
You have to admit though, accurate.
We felt like the screaming llama just kind of embodied your personality. It's definitely your spirit animal.
I'm gonna be looking at my life reaction to when I say this, but I'd like to think that I have mellowed out over the years.
Every time you do that scream to try to
got like kind of.
Yeah, every time you do that scream to scare somebody, I'm just like, yep, you are a youth pastor, 100%.
It's starting to hurt my throat.
I wonder why.
Wow.
But I also think that there's sometimes when I'm talking and my voice barely hanging on. I'm like, I've done damage.
You're gonna sound like Miley Cyrus one day. Ben's gonna be 50 years old and be like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" They're gonna be like, "You smoke a lot of cigarettes, baby?" Nah, youth pastor.
Yeah, you really make it sound
those things. Yeah.
I was thinking Roz from Monsters Inc.
Was out. 25 years of youth pastor. It'll do it.
25 years. I don't know if I have 25 years.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. But shout out to Kent Wells though, who did it and killed it the whole time. So
yeah. It's crazy. Well, it has definitely been one of those kind of weeks. I feel like that's what I put in the post as we just went live. It's been one of those weeks. I think obviously this is fresh news, so we'll kind of just see where it goes. But I think the biggest thing that everybody is probably thinking about or have heard, if you haven't heard, surprise. But we have President Trump tweeted about 12 hours ago at this point.
Yeah.
But the news is all out, confirmed and everything like that. President Donald Trump and the First Lady tested positive for COVID. And so they are both in quarantine. And it's kind of crazy. I just, what do you guys think? Devin, you texted us last night and said because I guess Trump had tweeted an hour or so before that test or before that tweet, just talking about, was it his advisor?
Yeah, one of his aides. And his top guy.
One of his
they were going into quarantine even before they announced they had tested positive, just because they'd been in close contact with him. So
right.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The headline I just also got is that Biden tested negative.
Yeah.
Biden did.
Yeah.
So, which I don't even think he made contact with Trump.
I don't think so. I mean,
they were yelling pretty loud at that debate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad to know.
Delayed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want people to get coronavirus, so it's but Biden tested negative. His test came in negative. The president and the First Lady are got the Rona. They seem to be doing. I saw a post this morning on a couple different news sites. Somebody had reported that they just mild today. They feel well, but just with mild symptoms. I guess not symptoms. They have it, but as far as the effects, they're just feeling a little out of it. But overall, they're feeling well, which is good.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm assuming the debates are this is actually probably a blessing in disguise. I'm assuming the upcoming 2 debates that were supposed to happen are probably canceled now.
Well, the vice president debate is next week.
Oh, that's the vice president one. Yeah, that's right. But weren't they supposed to debate one more time?
They're supposed to debate 2 more times, I think.
2 more times. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's not next week's isn't a presidential debate.
Gotcha.
Vice president.
So it may still not affect the timeline. Well, I mean, I guess that's assuming that in 2 weeks he's testing negative and perfectly healthy again, because it, hits different people different ways. And for him, I mean, the people that it seems to hit the hardest are obviously people that have underlying immune issues, but also the healthy people that have gotten it and then got really sick. There seems to be a common denominator of the fact that they were like traveling or working really long hours, not getting a whole lot of sleep, under a lot of stress, and they're just kind of worn out. Like, how after, like, I'm sure you guys can relate, like, maybe during like camp for you guys, you're just working, and then you get home and like that kind of just like fatigue and almost like a cold sets in the next day,
Yeah,
because your body's just so worn out. So
well, I got pneumonia from a winter camp once.
Yeah.
Remember when I went deaf and y'all were like, why?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Well, I was really poor at the time and I was waiting for my tax return so I could.
Yeah, it was only 1 ear.
Clinic.
Oh, that's right.
Both ears got clogged.
Oh, it was one more than the other because you. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny because I had the TV up too loud and yet I was whispering because I thought I was shouting.
Yeah. But yeah, all that to say, I mean, this is probably the worst time for him to possibly get it because, with the debates gearing up and the election coming up and stuff, obviously he's under a lot of stress and probably not sleeping much. And so I don't know, he could end up getting pretty sick, and this may be, who knows, it's going to be a weird thing that happens. And obviously I don't wish ill will on anybody, whether I like them or not. So I, wish him a speedy recovery, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting fairly sick from it, and it's going to really throw a wrench in what they're going to do with the debates and stuff.
So here's a interesting thing. I'm going to read through some of the, like, and I'll let you know who wrote them, but like just the news headlines from a couple different news sources.
Wait, can we guess? Can you just read them and we guess what?
Oh, that would be great. Are they all major?
Okay, let me do this. I'll come through here and I'll find some ones that are pretty. Okay, so here's an op-ed. It said Trump coronavirus diagnosis is karma.
CNN.
BuzzFeed.
Okay.
No, that was actually the New York Daily News.
Okay. There's too many news.
Yeah, there's so many out there. Let me see here. This one, Trump has COVID-19, feeling mild symptoms. Biden tests negative. Praise for Trump.
Fox News?
That was USA Today.
Oh, look at that.
Fox News will probably be more like prayers for dear leader.
Here's what Fox News 42 minutes ago. Sean Hannity on Trump's positive corona test. Sad, but predictable that it'll be politicized.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see how they went that way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things. I mean, like I said, Devin, I think you said it best. The obviously, my personal opinion, my personal take on it, something like this, it's so weird to see. I wish I had a better word. It's been somewhat relieving to see kind of just the negativity towards an actual human being calm down a second, just to be like, oh, well, I don't wish ill will on him. I saw a friend of mine who posted something to the effect of just like, hey, praying for you. Can't stand you, but I am praying for you. Like, despite everything that is going on. Yeah, I mean, just like politically, obviously. And he's like, but just despite everything that's going on, like, I do not wish ill will on a person, the leader of our country, all that kind of stuff. So that's been kind of nice to everyone just to kind of maybe pull back the attacks, especially after the debate this week.
I wouldn't say everyone. You must not have been on Twitter at midnight last night.
No. Well, that's what I was going to say. The other side of it, though, is like it is crazy just to see how, like, oh yeah, I mean, if you just go to his tweet and just look at all of the comments and stuff on it, it is crazy. But the big thing is that a lot of people seem to be saying like, hey, if it is going to do harm to his campaign, it's that coronavirus is going to be a major topic that has to be dealt with, like talked about. Like he's not going to be able to kind of move past it as he looks to campaign against other things, because now he has it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Well, like how might this change the next couple months?
So 2 things. One, is it's going to definitely have to change his rhetoric depending on what happens. If he ends up having mild symptoms and getting past this relatively quickly, he may continue his rhetoric of not a big deal.
For sure.
And then use himself as an example of why.
The virus was very weak. I handled it perfectly. Nobody's ever handled the virus as good as I have. And anyway.
Wow. Well,
you've been practicing that.
Yeah. You got to remember to purse your.
It's hard not to. Yeah, you got to purse. Yeah.
But in the debate, Trump had criticized Joe Biden for frequently wearing masks.
Yeah.
And then even brought out his own mask, kind of like as an example, like I'm not wearing mine. And I think that Trump is, like many people, in the position of either getting it or knowing someone close to him who got it, which will cause him to look at it in a more serious light. Like I know people who, because it seemed like it was diminishing around them, they let their guard down and they started to think that it wasn't as big a deal. And then someone close to them got it. Someone close to them got it severely or died, or they themselves ended up getting it. And so for me, I haven't gotten it, but I've had people who I'm close to, and then I see regularly who they took the precautions. They found out that someone they were in contact with got it, and then they self-quarantined. And that was a good thing because they ended up being positive. And though their symptoms were light, it caused them to take like steps of caution. So like next time I saw them, no hugging, like air fist bumps, stuff like that. And so I would hope that what this does is it kind of causes the president to maybe be a little bit more serious about the need to wear masks. Now, the question is, where do we, I know that he's like around a lot, but who has any guesses on where they think it came from? Because I know that Hope Hicks had it, but did she get it first? Where do you think that?
Well, they are very, if it's anything like on the college campuses and just other communities that I've been looking into or following, contact tracing doesn't seem to be a hard thing to do. And so it's not going to be very hard to find out where the president of the United States or who he's come into contact with. So the contact tracing will be interesting. I'm wondering how many layers, like how many, because there's a difference, right? Like, so if you're secondary involvement or exposure, you're supposed to quarantine as well. That's why they were going into quarantine. That tertiary level, though, is where it's like, it's not necessarily, depending on where you're at and stuff like that. But like here in Texas, tertiary exposure doesn't call for immediate quarantine. Yeah. So what will they do?
I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out sooner rather than later.
Did you guys,
like if anybody is going to be able to figure, if any person would be able to figure out, contact trace and see where they got it, it would certainly be for the president of the United States. I mean, with this, it'll be just a matter of days, but probably before they figure. I don't know. Then again, they may not release the news. So,
did you guys see some of like the tweets and stuff that were coming from QAnon?
No, I'm actually very curious to see that. I told my wife that last night. I was like, how is this going to go?
So essentially they're denying it all and they're trying to read into his tweets as if like, so they've essentially, like X22 report posted this, they retweeted his tweet and it says like, we have it all. It's time to take action. Red October. Why would Trump and his wife announce they have COVID-19 and they need to quarantine? And it's like they're trying to
skip debates and stuff.
And then one guy's like, thinking one or two reasons, possibly to get out of sight and away from a threat against them and not scare the public, or they will take the therapeutic drug and become well, showing everyone the truth. He was on hydroxychloroquine, whatever it's called.
Hydroxychloroquine,
it is hard for me to imagine he has gotten it. And so like it's pretty much.
Was he taking hydroxychloroquine?
I don't know, dude.
Like, I'm sure you're not supposed to take it until you get it. And
no, he was taking it as a preventative thing, and then
and
like I think it was like a doctor who was like he was getting a prescription of it, but it's like an outdated malaria drug.
So
and apparently, I mean, there's a lot of mixed stuff about it, but apparently there have been some studies that have showed that it has been effective early on if it's administered early enough. But I've never heard of anybody doing it as a preventative.
So there's groups like There's groups like QAnon that are coming out, again, conspiracy type theories about like, no, he doesn't really have it. This is all he's trying. This is all like we understand the real message there. He's about to out Hillary or something like that. And then you have people on the other side that are just like, I think he's lying about this just so he doesn't have to do the debates because of how bad this week's was. Like,
I don't think it's either. I think he really got it.
Well, yeah, I think
it's
so too.
Yeah, like I don't understand that. Yeah.
So an interesting thing whenever you see a president who undergoes a health crisis is, well, two things. One, you see the stock market take a dip, like I think like the Dow.
Which is another thing that has happened, yeah.
Yeah. But it does have an impact on people's voting because it's a statement of the strength of the person. And so
they wonder if he's going to be around.
Yeah. So one of the things that historically is a reason that George H.W. Bush was not reelected. Does anyone know this? What happened to him?
No idea.
Stubbed his toe.
He got food poisoning.
Oh gosh.
And grew up on the Prime Minister of Japan.
Oh wow.
Hold on, I gotta find a picture of this.
And go ahead and look it up.
On him?
And in his lap. They were sitting next to each other, and he threw up into his lap and then passed out. But it was close enough to the election that it made him seem frail, weak, or unhealthy. And so some people, historians, will look back and be like, that could be a factor into why people did not vote for him, along with other things like failing. Well, one of the things is that he said that there would be no new taxes and then had to raise taxes and the economy took a dip. And took blame. But yeah, him throwing up on the Japanese prime minister is one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And so I think that people seeing Trump getting sick, they could take that as a thing that scares them away from voting for him, or because he potentially put himself in a position that allowed him to get sick, that they could see that as a
people could see it as reckless, like, oh, he probably wasn't, he's, we've never seen him really wear his mask and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, that and a number of other things. Now, I will say, as a person who, it's part of my job to drive through neighborhoods every single day, it's been interesting because I've never seen more signs during an election time. Usually it's just a handful of houses, and now it's like, it seems like a solid 30% of neighborhoods that have signs out. And I'm just like, wow, we have got some wars going on with, Trump across the street and Biden across on the other side. And they're, just raising their flags. But I will say, I have seen
Found
more.
it.
Huh? Found it? Oh, wow. Oh, I think I have seen that picture before. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's him right
just
there.
Driving through neighborhoods. I've seen more signs in support for the Democratic Party than I've ever seen before in Texas. And I've seen several, this is a popular sign out there that says Republicans for Biden. I've seen them a lot.
I haven't seen any of those.
So, Texas has always been like a red state, but I don't know how much of this will weigh into things, but it's like, maybe it'll be closer than I thought it would be.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
But again, wanting to, go ahead, Devin.
One other aspect to this that I don't think anybody's really talked about yet is poor Melania. She doesn't seem to like him very much. Is that fair? Did y'all see the clip of him like going in for the hug and she kind of does like a don't touch me thing, and then he like awkwardly like pats her on the back? Like, I've always wondered that. And
that's when she got it, because she has it too,
Yeah. And like long before he was president, it's always like, does she really even like him, or did she marry him for the money? But I don't know. She's stuck with him for 2 weeks now.
So, they're stuck in the same house, but it's also the White House.
True.
So
yeah. They got different wings.
This is where I have to reveal something. Because Josh isn't here, which means I'm going to have to probably take up some of the slack of talking about sports today. So have fun with that, guys. I have created Weekend Toast Bingo. And so for today, I have tried to predict some of the things that you or Isaiah will say. Okay. And
some are going to be easy, but
some are going to be easy. But one of them was...
You've already been playing?
Huh?
You've
Get
already
that?
been playing?
I've already started playing. Yeah, there's free.
He's already
play,
got 2.
and this one said just hashtag save Melania. So just something sympathetic
Okay.
towards poor Melania. And so yeah, I'm excited about this. And this goes across all the subjects that we have planned to talk about today.
Nice. You got free space in there?
I do have free space. I already played it. And if I happen to get toast, because it's TOAST, so bingo, then I get to have my Topo Chico for today. And if I don't, then I don't get to have it. And that's sad. So
well,
if you don't, let's be honest, if you don't, you're gonna crack that thing open anyway. It's not like it's a soda, like it's I shouldn't have this, but I want it. It's water.
I need it.
Well, let's do it. Let's talk sports then. There's been a bunch of stuff that happened. So actually Fox News. Oh yes, the Lakers. We'll get to that in a second. Fox News just updated.
Dev loves the Lakers was on here. So
I knew. Yeah, that's an easy one, man. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we should have created this card for you.
Nope. Because then you would know what to potentially avoid.
Okay, or that you should have randomized it.
Well, it is random. My wife and I made it up.
Well, I know, but I'm saying you could have put the most likely in a bingo.
No, I've scattered them throughout.
I'm just kidding. I want to hear all those at the end. So just an hour ago, Fox News even updated saying Titans are hit with even more positive corona case as the NFL and the NFLPA agree to extend daily testing. So, yeah, the NFL has been hit with the Rona.
This will be interesting because I haven't followed that story too closely this week. Just, it's been, what a week with multiple things going on. But this will hit the NFL differently. I mean, if they just had more players test positive, I don't see how you can even play that game on Sunday. And it's not like it's so much easier in basketball and baseball to just postpone a game or even just cancel it altogether,
Yeah.
So in football, and they make up games in baseball and basketball all the time. They can play back to back. 2 nights in a row, double headers. And so football, obviously, you just can't do that. Guys after a football game need pretty much the entire week to let their body recover before they're ready to go for the next game. So this will be an interesting story to follow and see what happens.
So what do you think ends up happening? It's surely they're the first. So it was the Titans. Earlier at the beginning of the week, the whole story was that the Titans and the Vikings have halted operations because of the confirmed cases, which sucks for the Titans because they're undefeated right now. And then you have the Vikings who are totally defeated right now.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that one. After Titans, who?
The Vikings.
The Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, neither of those. Okay.
Devin, don't talk about the boys.
Oh yeah. That's probably on there.
That's probably one of his.
Are we not wanting Ben to get bingo?
Of course not.
Okay. Never want Ben to win, even when it's playing his own game.
So when
it's like rooting against somebody when they're playing solitaire.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get it.
Yeah. I hope that nobody beats you.
How spiteful is that? I hope you don't get solitaire.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I also don't think it's on here. Let me look.
Okay,
that's funny. So what do you think ends up happening? Assuming this spreads, because it feels like that's kind of what the Rona do. We've seen now the NBA, NHL. I would consider what the NHL did a success.
For sure. Yeah.
Side note: shout out to the Lightning, even though they beat the Stars. But if we're honest, very few people actually were Stars fans until they made it to the Stanley Cup anyway. So, but kudos to them.
Hold up.
Kudos to them for making it.
Nope.
But I think the NHL, their bubble was a success. The NBA, for the most part, I would consider it a success. Other than early on when people kept door dashing.
Early on, they had a couple of guys that had to hey, you're stuck in your room for the next 10 days.
So I guess my question is this: is there a way to do a bubble in the NFL? Assuming everything has to halt for a couple weeks. How does the NFL's we're going to go fix this? How do they come back?
I don't know. I don't think it's possible to do a bubble for regular season for the NFL, but for the playoffs, I think they've got to have plans for that because it's as devastating as it is to have this happen in the regular season. Even if they were to be able to play okay, all your guys, they're better now, or even, hey, you just had 3 guys get sick. and they're going to have to be out for this game. Hopefully it's not your quarterback, because man, imagine that. But just the fact that they're having to do all of their game prep through Zoom all week. That's what the Titans have been doing. They've been having Zoom meetings to have their, their game plan meetings, and they're not being able to do physical walkthroughs, no practice, nothing. And so, yeah, if sports betting was legal in Texas, I don't care if, betting $1,000 would win me $10. I'd probably bet it against the Titans this week.
Well, they're not playing.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. So is it canceled?
Yeah, they've postponed the sorry, 1 second here. Look it up. The Steelers Titans game is postponed.
Yeah. Okay. So who knows how they're going to make that up? But come playoff time, I don't think you can risk not doing some sort of bubble.
See, because here's my thing: is like this. It doesn't just affect those teams; like it affects everyone else, right? Because if you were looking to get a win against one of these teams, and it ends up messing up your record in your division, and you don't get in. Like my thought, if anything, assuming this just got as bad as it could get, would be that you would do it would be a quick turnaround, but you get essentially, I guess, 6 bubbles, one for each division. Yeah. Just cut, readjust, only play your division game. Like whatever you do to the schedule, just make sure you get all your division games in, so that the division leaders can rise to the top of those divisions, and then figure out something for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether you go from 6 to 2 to 1, kind of like what they're doing with the MLB. Which by the way is going to be in Arlington. If anybody that listens to this before Tuesday has Rangers season tickets and has no desire to go to the World Series, please message me.
Go Rangers!
That was not a Go Rangers.
Well, you said that you wanted to have Ranger season tickets.
No, so that's not what I said.
Actually, it just says the word Rangers, so I'm saying.
So just the mention.
Okay.
Rangers.
Yeah, I was like, I just need somebody who has Rangers season tickets because they get first dibs.
Is it really?
Yeah, well, it's like it's like if you're a season ticket holder or if you're like an MLB partner or something like that, you get first dibs on like Monday, and then Tuesday is when they go live to the public. So not likely to get some on Tuesday.
No, you're gonna have to be on your computer like the second they drop, which I don't know what time it'll be, 9 in the morning or whatever. But that's the thing, man. I'm like really tempted because to the NLCS, the tickets start at $40. They go all the way up to like $450.
Yeah.
But then they start at $40 each for the NLCS, and then for the World Series, they start at $75. It's like, man.
But those will turn. I mean, because it's likely to be the Yankees this year. You know what I mean? And so anyway, that'll be crazy. But we're not there yet. We are in the middle of the NBA Finals, though. And Devin's got his Lakers in there.
I do.
How do you think it's gone so far?
Well, I was thinking about this the other day, that when this season first started, I knew this is the year for the Lakers to go and take it, because LeBron still looks like LeBron, and you don't know how much longer that's going to last. One, his age, but two, just the mileage on the guy. I mean, he's been in the finals every year except for last
10 times,
year,
right?
Decade. Yeah. And so if you do the math on the games, he's played probably an additional like 2 or 3 seasons of basketball just from playoffs and finals. But that was, the first year of having AD, and Golden State is down. Golden State's going to be back next year. They're going to have Steph. They're going to have Clay. They're going to have Draymond. They're going to have Andrew Wiggins now. And they're going to have the second overall pick unless they trade it for a guy like Joel Embiid or something like that. So they're going to be 5 superstar powerhouse again next year. And so I was like, man, this is the year to take it. And it feels so long ago thinking that thought, because it was a year ago. NBA season started an entire year ago.
Kudos to them, though, for just sticking it out. I feel like at some point they could have, I know it hasn't been perfect, but good for them for just getting through it. I think they were set up better than the NFL, for example, because they were in the middle of the season. So I think there's a lot of grace given in the break and the figuring it out-ness of it all. But
I'll never forget that, honestly, because that was what really sent America into quarantine and actually hey, the virus is here and it's real, was Rudy Gobert testing in the locker room after going around and touching everybody's mics the week before, thinking joking around. and they literally, I mean, it it felt like we were in a movie or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it was a weird night. I remember I went to the store and got groceries. I was like, I'm not panicking, but I'm gonna go get some stuff just in case everybody makes
And
a
then we
raid.
all
on
bought up
everything.
all the toilet paper. Ronaldo
Yeah.
says the Lakers are going to get it in 3.
3 more.
I guess. I mean, they would
Yeah,
need 3 more.
I think it'll be a sweep. That is one unfortunate thing is that. So I'm happy we took game 1, but Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo are doubtful for this upcoming game Friday. Goran Dragic probably won't return. We'll see what happens with Bam Adebayo, and then even Jimmy Butler, he rolled his ankle and kind of hobbled the rest of the game, and so now the Heat are. I mean, I was calling the Lakers in 5 or 6 already, but now it's looking like it might be a sweep. And I want it's my team. I want to win the championship, but I always do hate when like the other team, has like a drastic injury or something like that. It's like, kind of feels a little cheaper, but
right. So I don't know if you noticed, they're wearing their Black Mamba uniforms tonight for game 2.
Yep.
And so, I mean, do you think it's going to help them at all? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters. I think game 2's got to be a lock. I mean, they're without 2 of their best players, and so the Heat without Bam Adebayo, they're going to have absolutely no answer whatsoever for Anthony Davis, which was why I wanted to play the Celtics. One, Lakers Celtics is a classic matchup. One of the greatest rivalries in sports because it's one of the few rivalries that's a championship rivalry where, you think like, oh yeah, Cowboys and Redskins or Cowboys and Eagles, but it's like the Cowboys and Redskins will never meet in the Super Bowl because they're in the same division.
Whoa. The Washington
team.
football team.
Sorry.
Hey, I got another one. Look at that. 2 away.
Wow, that was on there?
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, I was on a suggestion. I also had Kobe mention. And then
I mentioned the jerseys.
Yeah, I was gonna mention.
Yeah, but you mentioned
I was gonna say win it for Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that's actually what it says specifically. Dev on Kobe. So you just did it. Yeah.
Win it for Kobe.
Yeah.
Devin Ronaldo said, no, he means literally 3 games. The Heat should really just forfeit the 4th game.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be good, though.
That's the thing. I'm gonna watch them all, but I heard on the radio this morning that the game 1 ratings were the lowest ratings for any NBA Finals ever, and they were speculating on there's a lot of other stuff going on with politics and stuff like that, so it just wasn't as watched. But,
I think it's that because it's so late into the season. I think you're starting to see that shift. I think
to football.
America overall still loves football more than basketball, and so I think you're seeing that shift in
LeBron and the Lakers in the finals, which usually have pretty good ratings, but they were the lowest since they've been recorded in like 1988.
Oh.
Yeah, which means game 2, if the Lakers win, it's up 2-0. Game 3 is going to plummet, and if they go up 3-0, the game 4 ratings are going to be like nothing. Nobody's
the only thing that gets the ratings up at this point is if there's like a comeback or if it's tight, if you get to 5, 6, and 7, but we'll see.
Yeah, which I really don't see that happening with them having players injured. Even without them, it was going to be hard. But
here's what I consider the biggest sports news of the week is that Nintendo released an announcement the other day, and Steve, Alex, the zombies, the Endermen are all going to be new characters in Super Smash Bros. So that's pretty sweet.
I have literally no take on this. I didn't even know that Minecraft had like characters with names. Like I was aware of the zombies, but yeah.
I'm kidding mostly. It was they came. I mean, I think it's cool. But yeah, some of the Minecraft characters are going to be playable characters in Super Smash Bros. So that was a kind of a cool thing. Nintendo's been doing some cool stuff just with all the Mario anniversary games coming out and stuff like that. So
all right, so let's speculate on the moves. I've literally seen Minecraft played a handful of times. I know nothing about it. I'm guessing there's going to be a pickaxe.
Yeah, there was a trailer.
I'm guessing the down B is going to be to place a TNT, right?
I'm not sure exactly. They had like the simulated gameplay and stuff like that on there.
If it's anything like the actual game, the longer you play with that character, the more likely you'll be single. So I think that's probably something that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's easy to make that joke after you're married, Ben.
Yeah.
Hey, wives! Yay, mentioned.
What?
I'm gonna take it.
Your marital status is not me referencing. Never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You can't mention the fact that I'm married without inferring the existence of my wife. So.
Well, I mean, whatever. We're not going to argue it. So, in some other news, kind of back to things that.
Wait, real quick on the video games thing. Do you want to talk about the PS5 and Xbox Series X?
You know what? Let's push that
here, and it didn't keep.
Let's move that to next week because I want to see some more data that's coming out. Because PC's kind of there's some stuff going on in there. But
was the SSB character? It was just that, or was there a third one as well? I can't remember.
Well, it's like one character. I don't know if they're going to be multiple characters or like it's the kind of like if you're
DLC pack where you get multiple.
Well, it was just like one character can be like 4 different skins of that character. I don't know if they're going to be different, but essentially it was Steve, Alex. This means nothing to you guys right now. The Enderman and the Creepers.
Yeah, which are I'm sure zombies. It'll just be skins. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they have. I can see them doing like Alex and Steve as just a skin swap, kind of like the Wii Fit trainer, where it's just you're the male or the female, and then I think they would do the Creeper and the Enderman as a second character.
Yeah.
Are there any other hopes for Super Smash Brothers characters?
I'm not sure exactly. I just know that was the release. That was the news release they had out right now.
Can we get a Goku crossover? That's what I want.
No.
I know it'll never happen, but it'd be cool.
It would be cool though. In a much less cool news, United and American Airlines had to furlough 32,000 employees. That sucks.
Yeah.
That stinks. Immediately I started thinking about back in 9/11 or 2001 when my mom got laid off from American Airlines. She barely missed the cut after all those layoffs after 9/11.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys take on it? Do you guys have family that are in the airlines businesses, specifically with these two? Just what do y'all think about airlines in general?
I can't remember if I do. I might have an uncle or something who's a pilot, but I can't. If I do, he's been there for 40 years and he's probably safe. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's like it's a bummer, but I feel like it's kind of to be expected, right? I mean, flights have definitely not gotten back to normal. So they've just been losing money for months now.
Yeah, so. I've had to like pick up some family members from the airport a few times in the past couple months, and it has felt like a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, wow, like this is usually a little bit more hectic. But I'm like, the only people I'm seeing driving sometimes is just the shuttles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so right now, DFW Airport, and all the while DFW Airport is still building a new terminal. So that's crazy to think about.
So let me ask you guys this. Maybe you'll have a bigger take on this than like the big thing is I don't want to say they're blaming, but essentially they're saying they had to make this decision because the $25 billion federal payroll support that Congress passed like in March kept them from cutting jobs until October 1. And they're saying that because there hasn't been a coronavirus aid package agreed upon, like an updated one, that's why they're having to do this. And so they're saying like, hey, you're all furloughed. If they can figure out a coronavirus aid deal, then we'll bring you back. Like, have you guys been following any of that stuff with like the second round of stimulus and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I have. I have, just to see if, there's going to be another check. And my wife was one of the first people to lose her job when this all happened. So she has been on unemployment since then. And then, the payments have gotten cut significantly recently. And so we've kept an eye on it. And it has been kind of weird because it's just every day it's like, hey, Congress meets again for like the 15th time and they still can't agree on anything and the thing is, it's shady stuff because they're trying to, and I know they did this with the first stimulus package too. They're trying to slip stuff in there that they want, that has nothing to do with getting people aid for coronavirus. They're just trying to say, hey, you want a bill that helps out the people and it looks good on your part, but we're going to try to slip this into the fine print there. And it's like, can we stop doing that and just get a deal done that's good for the American people? But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, American Airlines, their stock hasn't taken a huge hit. It had already dropped so much. Most of the airline stocks, like in February, is when they all dropped like below 50. Like, for example, American Airlines went from like at its highest this year, like over $30 a share, down to like $9 a share. They had a spike in June.
To get in, right?
Well, they all had us. There was like
back eventually.
There was like this spike in June with all the airlines, because I think there was just some hope, and then like it was like, oh no, now we're seeing all the cases, but they're down at like $12 right now a share, so they haven't dropped any more in light of this, but because they had already dropped so much, I don't know, it's just sad.
The thing that seemed weird to me about a lot of these major corporations like airlines and stuff like that getting bailouts as part of like the stimulus package and stuff like that was that it's like, you guys have billions and billions and billions of dollars and there's no savings account. There's no plan for like, hey, just in case something ever happens, we're good for a while. It seems like they just, all the money they make, they put it back into, I guess, expanding and continuing to grow, which, you know, there's value in that, but you should also have like a contingency plan. It's just weird to hear that like
billion-dollar corporations are failing.
Like, like literally 2 months go by and they're like, oh wow, we're in real big trouble here. And it's like, really? You guys have billions of dollars and it's only, I mean, for me, yeah, it's like, wow, I miss one paycheck and we're in trouble for that month, you know? It just seems like $1 billion corporation would have a lot more in savings just in case. But.
I feel like it's, I mean, I would be the first to admit, like, I probably don't understand the economics of huge. I mean, they just furloughed 32,000 people and between them two. So it's like, oh, that's a lot of people involved in these industries. And so I don't claim to understand it, but I think the same thing too when I hear like, wait, what? You know, and there's that part of me that's like, well, if you didn't do it right, like, sorry, I guess that's totally when someone else gets to rise up and
yeah, I totally understand how like the small business owner, you know, you cut their prices for, or you cut their profits for a month or two, and it's like they've got a building that they got to most likely pay rent on.
Right.
That comes up quick, and they don't have, you know, they're still trying to build their business and stuff. So
you know what they need? No,
only 2 months later, they could be in real big trouble. But it's like, man, $1 billion corporation.
You know who they need to hire to help them build?
Who? Bob?
Steve.
Bob, the predecessor to
Steve. Yeah. Oh, Fix It Felix before Bob, man.
Dude, yeah, for sure, man.
So,
here's one. Sorry, side note. If Fix It Felix hit Vanellope with his hammer, would that have made her stop glitching?
I think so.
No. Wait, if Fix It Felix would have done that?
Yeah.
Used his hammer on Vanellope, would that have fixed her problem?
No, because that data that the game would have considered a fix was all stored away. It was unplugging the machine.
Fixed other things in the game.
I know, because the zeros and ones were there to reference.
I think Ben and I are thinking like, you know, kind of semi like philosophically, like, you know, about it, and Isaiah's thinking like data. Like, no, that's not how video games work, man.
No,
we're dreaming here, okay?
No, it's totally thing. No, because at the same time, it's like if Fix It Felix would have hit, what's the racer guy's name? I forget his name. The bad guy in the movie.
Oh,
the first one.
Turbo.
Yeah.
But maybe you could have fixed him. Maybe he could have gone sane.
Well, because anyway, sorry.
Maybe it could.
There's a difference between fixing. There's a difference between fixing and resetting, because if you want to get philosophical, the idea is that Vanellope is not broken. That's the whole point of the movie, is that she's not broken, she's unique. And so I'm trying to give you an out from going way down that road.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ben, you get the wheel this week?
I do. Are we already there?
The wheel of random, man.
There's a good chance that.
Hey, how you doing on your bingo, real quick?
Here's where I'm at.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Okay, well,
can you just tell us what's on there now? Well, no. I guess we have to wait till the end of the episode. Let's get through some wheel.
Let's wait till the end of the episode just in case.
Yeah, because I kind of want you to get it, but not really. I want you to get one away in like 3 different ways.
I am 2 away on 3 different angles. So
because it's just a topo, I'm kind of pulling for you. If it was like a pint of ice cream, I'd be like, you don't need it. Lose, Ben.
What do you think, Josh?
It's like your reward is just a topo. It's not like it's unhealthy or anything. So
okay. So
anyway,
we've got video game adaptations. So things that like other franchises that we would like to see adapted into video games on the next, wave of consoles.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I knew you would. Spelling bee. I'm going to since that's one of the few sports that you could probably still play in the COVID society because it requires no contact and you can spell with a mask on, we're going to just see who can correctly spell some common things that we hear that we often misspell. Couldn't
like
say today. Huh?
Like restaurant.
Can you spell restaurant?
Yeah, well, every time I go to type it, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, how do I think I'm supposed to spell
or hamster?
Yeah.
Hamster doesn't have a P.
Of course it doesn't.
No.
When you say it, how many of you say hamster?
Hamster. Okay, I can.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those that, like, if you tried to actually sound out that word, you might accidentally put a P in there.
Hamster?
Yeah.
No. This is one of those things where you're like, I thought everyone thought this.
No. This is one of those things. This is one of those times where both of you realized it. Devin admitted it, and Ben's too proud to.
You ever have a time where like you're tired and your brain's so overloaded from something that you're learning that you forget how to spell something really easy, and you're like, it's a total brain fart, and you're like, why do I not know how to spell this?
And you pull out Siri and you just say the word.
Dude, like I'm not kidding. There was one time I was up studying super late for a test, and I was trying to cram, I was like 5 classes, and I forgot how to spell the word who. Like I was sitting there and I was writing, and I was like, HOO. I was like, no, I know that's not right. I was like, how do I spell who? I was really tired. I was probably on like 2 hours of sleep.
That's funny. Yeah. All right, Ben, I'm kidding. I'm just dumb. I'm not. I wish I was an English major.
Okay, I'm dumb too. I'm not a good friend. This one could be false. So things that we kind of just know to be like truisms that we hear all the time, but actually are false or we're not sure about.
Ooh, okay. Like Shaq being in Shazam.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well that's a
or Sinbad, or what?
Sinbad, yeah.
That wasn't Shazam.
Yeah, it was Sinbad being in a similar movie. Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's do it.
Best time an athlete was in a movie, by the way. Shaq and Shazam. Can't beat that.
Michael Jordan and Space Jam.
Boom! Space Jam. Got you to say it.
You baited me for that one.
Yes,
got me.
I feel like
you were going to talk about LeBron, you were gonna put the new Space Jam in.
That was actually on TV last night. Watched some of it.
Olympic non-sports. This has been up here for a week. I believe that this is Olympic sports that we wished existed that do not presently. Okay. Or
beer pong.
Olympic or sports in the Olympics that we would wish removed. Like, why do we do that?
Okay.
And then the perfect crossover. So franchises that we would love to see a crossover for that are not necessarily superhero related. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Immediately where my brain goes, but.
Okay. Oh, and I skipped one. Couldn't be made today. So movies or TV shows that have been made in our lifetime, so since 1989, but could not be made today.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's do it.
And I was thinking of repainting this, getting a new color on it. Okay. False maybe. All right. So these are things that are some of these are going to be actually true. Like I'm going to say this thing like, oh yeah, that's true. Some of these are actually going to be false, even though we thought were true. Okay. Common misconceptions. All right. Here we are. You should avoid dairy while you're sick.
True.
You think you should still avoid dairy?
Yeah, I think it's true.
I've
always heard it like produces more phlegm and mucus. That's what I've always heard.
I don't think it matters.
You're both kind of right. So that there is some stuff to suggest that it can produce mucus, but doesn't necessarily make you sicker.
Oh yeah.
So Isaiah is right in the sense that it doesn't actually really matter, but you're right in the sense that that's the only thing that people could use as an argument.
Yeah.
So there you go. On the same note, vitamin C is extremely beneficial whenever you are sick or getting sick.
I previously would have said that it's not that beneficial and that you pee out most of it. Up until this whole coronavirus thing, I've been swayed by some different doctors with different opinions on vitamin C that it is important and that even taking it while you're sick apparently can help. So before I always thought that, people who take emergency when they have the flu, it's like you're already sick. It's too late.
Is that what's in? Okay, that's emergency, right? Yeah, emergency.
Yeah.
Then I would still say true.
So it's largely considered false.
Okay, but now
there was a guy who spent
did doTERRA and Young Living write this article, or
no, because then they would probably say something like, here's your vitamin C oil or something like that. I don't know. But
oh, my bad.
Okay,
that was it popped up on my computer for whatever reason.
So there's no real evidence to suggest that it has much of a contribution towards your immune support. It's kind of more just like an old wives' tale. But there was a scientist who spent his entire life trying to prove it, that it's true, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
But the vitamin that does help, does anyone want to guess, like the one you really need?
Vitamin D right now.
Vitamin D. No, vitamin D in general. Yeah. That's one of the most beneficial.
Which one's in orange juice?
So I was listening to there was an episode.
Which one's in orange juice?
C.
Okay.
Orange juice.
Well, they have orange juice with vitamin D in it as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with milk. Whole milk has vitamin D in it.
Well, orange juice is
most of the time you get it from the sun.
Orange juice apparently isn't good because if you're drinking some of that before trying to get sick, it's just going to make it worse because it's too much sugar. So
fair enough. Yeah. Now the vitamin C thing, like that's what I'd grown up like. Well, I'd been swayed to believe like the last several years is that vitamin C really doesn't make that much of a difference. But I've heard some doctors say recently. One of them was on Joe Rogan's show. Her name's Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and she was saying that it's the vitamin C. It's that people usually don't take enough for it to be effective. Like if you're only taking 100 or 200 milligrams a day, no, it's virtually totally ineffective for your immune system. But if you're taking 2,000 milligrams per day, they think that there have been studies recently that show that it is effective. So it's just that our dosages have been way off on it. Whereas previously though, I'd always heard in EMT school stuff that if you take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, you're going to pee out 1,800 of it. So I don't know.
Well, they still say that. That's still
up in the air.
I believe. All right. You should put toilet paper or covers down on your toilet seat whenever you're in a public bathroom.
Not just a preference?
Should you do it? Is it a wiser thing to do?
I'm gonna say no. It probably is one of those like you actually don't realize the germs that are here and now they're here and type thing.
I always throw the first one away.
You're talking about either using like the seat covers or taking toilet paper and putting it down on the rim, right?
Yes, particularly the latter.
Okay.
Just putting toilet paper down?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never actually done that just because it takes too much work.
Yeah.
But the seat covers I'll use. So with the toilet paper, I'm gonna say like no, it probably makes no difference to you, other than appeasing your mind.
It's about appeasing your mind because it actually can like soak up and absorb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
I wipe the seat down first.
And then it's on the cheeks.
But you really don't need to do it at all because most businesses clean bathrooms frequently.
And for what it's worth, since we're here, you should always go ahead and wipe down a public bathroom seat before you use it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even if you don't wipe it down, on average, the public bathroom seat has 10 times fewer germs than your cell phone does right now.
Oh, 100%. I believe that 1%. Unless you go to that corner store,
Yeah, we all know the one.
Yeah.
Road trip hack real quick, Ben. Road trip hack is that if you are needing a bathroom, don't go to a gas station or something. Oh, hello.
Hi, Rebecca.
Devin says hi.
Now, if Wives wasn't up here already, it would be.
Yeah, it definitely would be now. Yeah, that if you're going to use a bathroom on the road, do it at like a fast food restaurant as opposed to a gas station. Nice truck stops are obviously the exception there because their standards are a bit higher. But like you'll have a much better bathroom experience at a McDonald's that you stopped at and went ahead and just bought a drink than trying to go to that Chevron, or whatever.
I do that with my job too, because if you need to use a stall, you're much less likely at a fast food restaurant to run into crud. There's somebody in there. Now I have to wait.
Yeah. All right, Ben, what you got?
You can see the Great Wall of China from space.
False.
False. Yeah, I'm gonna say false.
It is false. It's a super narrow road.
Yeah.
You would have a better chance of seeing 183 than the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Sharks can smell blood a mile away.
It is true.
But what is not true is how
the second it drops in. Like if there is they can smell like a 1/1,000,000th of a molecule of blood that's drifted a mile. But that's not the way smell works. If you drop a drop of blood in the water, it doesn't mean instantly a shark a mile away is like, ooh, blood. It's got to drift that way. So it's
you're about right. Yes, it says that they can detect a single drop of blood in the ocean. It says while some sharks can detect blood at 1 part per million, that hardly qualifies as being able to detect like where it came from in the ocean. So yeah, you are correct. Let's see here. Police require a waiting period before filing a missing persons report.
Police require a waiting.
I'm
gonna say true, like at 24 hours or something.
Nope, it's false. There's no waiting period if you suspect someone is missing. Report it.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't give Isaiah a chance to answer on that one, man.
Okay. Yeah, I would have said false. Duh.
Okay. Adding salt to boiling water helps it go faster.
True.
Isaiah's right on that one. You have to put a lot of salt in there to make a difference. So the amount of salt people usually put in doesn't matter.
That's more of a kind of then, because it can.
But the amount that you would have to add would ruin whatever you're making.
Right, but that's kind of like the vitamin C thing too.
Yeah,
enough might do it.
Hey, that's not me this time.
That's me this time.
Yeah. Now it is true, and this always weirds me out just to think about it, that water boils at a lower temperature at a higher altitude. Isn't that weird?
Yes, I knew that one. Here's another one.
That's just weird to me.
Albert Einstein struggled with math in grade school.
I want that to be true because it's a cool story.
I've always heard that that's true.
Nah, he received high marks in his classes.
That's what I figured. He's freaking Einstein.
Napoleon was short.
Yes, he was.
He's like 5'4", right?
That's short.
Well, firstly, that's just as a side note, that's Kevin Hart's exact height. So,
are we talking about short for his time even? Because people were shorter.
I think, but isn't he like 5'4" or 5'6"? I don't think he's not like 5'1".
Which I guess back then would have been average, 5'4" or 5'6".
So at the time, he may have been one of the tallest guys in the room.
Right. Like how tall was he?
At 5'7", that was extremely respectable, especially in France.
Yeah.
So so the idea of a Napoleon complex where you're like, got that little guy thing.
Complex,
No.
So
last one on this. Ooh, which one do I want? Ooh, no. One more.
Oh my gosh, y'all, this lunch is amazing.
Dinosaurs. Oh no, let's not do that one. Black holes. They are basically the vacuum cleaners of space.
Black holes?
Yeah.
Basically true.
So where there's the misconception here, and I probably didn't say the question right, people think that black holes are actually like a hole in space. It's not.
No, yeah.
It looks like a hole because it just is because they think of like the Bugs Bunny hole where he throws it down and things just fall in. That's what they think. So
it's just that it's center of gravity is so intense.
Side note, you were talking about road trips. Do y'all still? Does anyone even like road trips anymore? Or is everyone like with cheap flights? Like, let's just take a flight.
I would. Yeah, I would. Here's the thing: as long if a road trip is a part of the like these, there's a difference between like, hey, I need to get to New York for fun, and then there's like, hey, we're going to this place, and a part of that fun is going to be like what we do on the road trip.
Yeah.
I don't want to
It
just
also
jump in a
depends
car
on
for
where
8.
you're going.
Yeah, I don't want to just jump in a
Depends
car
on
for
where you're
8
going.
hours.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going, because if you're driving to New Mexico from here and you're like, woo, road trip, it's like there's not a lot to see. You're gonna see some cornfields and some those tumbleweeds and a lot of dust, and that's it. Now, but if you're going to like if you're driving to like Missouri, you've got some stuff to look at, a lot of hills, and go through some woods and stuff like
A
that.
lot of it has to do with company
I
too.
like that. I like getting to drive out and see different parts of the country and stuff like that. But I mean, me and my wife just went down to Galveston recently, and we drove because it was cheaper than flying, and renting a car once we got there. And we had a great time. Threw on some a sick 80s playlist and stopped at Buc-ee's twice. Got a bunch of snacks. We had a great time.
I don't know. I think it might be cheap. Depending on where you're going, it might be cheaper to fly now.
Right now, yeah.
And with some airlines, it was maybe even cheaper before COVID.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the flight, but not renting a car once you get there, if you add that into it. So
I don't know.
Because gas is really cheap right now too.
All right, Ben, let's get one more spin and we'll see what we got here.
Here we go. It is red, which is the same thing we just did. So another light spin. And now we are on dark blue. Spelling bee. All right.
Dang it. This is the one I didn't want.
Okay, hold up. Let me get my list together. So these are gonna be words but so it's not gonna be like I'm gonna say like something completely random, like that's a word. No, you're gonna have heard
onomatopoeia.
That's one of them. Spell. No,
oh no.
We've got Maynard and we've got Devin, and we're gonna see who gets the most right.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay. No cheating.
Let's go first.
First?
Okay, I'm thinking of an airline. Whoever can say the airline I'm thinking of.
Southwest.
Spirit.
Boom, Southwest. It was here on the thing.
Devin,
5 in a row.
it again.
I get my Topo Chico. So,
man. 2 for 2. Well
yeah,
done. Enjoy it, sir.
Across. All right.
All right. You'll have to tell us the ones that we missed at the end.
All right, let's do this then. Yeah, let's do 3 rounds of spelling, and then we'll close out with your bingo card.
Okay, so Devin, do you want to go first, or do you want to go last?
I will go first.
Okay, spell chauffeur.
Chauffeur. CH.
Yes.
EUFER.
No, you're like wrong for like 3 letters. CHAUFFEUR. So a lot more vowels.
That's
in
hard.
Right.
Chauffeur is not a word I use very often.
Isaiah. Fahrenheit.
Oh, I would have got that one.
Wait. I just know that it ends with like HEIT. It's either FA or FE.
Can you get me the stuff in between there, please?
Oh no. Well, it's like I'm struggling the second letter. It's either FA or FE, RRENHEIT.
If you didn't get it right, give me a chance.
REN.
Ben broke up. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah. FAHRENHEIT.
That is a point for Devin. Yes. Okay, so I'll allow for a rebuttal from the other person.
I only know that 'cause I had to spell it recently, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't expect that H to be there."
That's one of those words,
All
like,
right.
yeah, the H. Like, I feel like when I see the word, I know it's there, but I wouldn't have put it in when I was just spelling it.
Yeah.
All right, Devin. Fluorescent.
FLOURESCENT.
No. Isaiah, would you like to try?
Wait, what did you say, Devin?
I said FLOURESCENT. That's not it.
Got it.
Man.
Oh man,
Shatters
FLORESCENT.
No, you're
I
wrong.
thought maybe he had just added
FLUOR.
Oh, they switched the U and the O.
fluorescent. I guess it is fluorescent.
Yeah, not fluorescent.
All right, Isaiah.
Devin, let's just remember this so we can be sure and do a game where we out Ben as not being as smart as a 5th grader. Because that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Isaiah, Portuguese.
Portuguese.
P-O-R-T.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. PORTUEGUESE SSTR.
Definitely.
No, I'm just kidding. I lost it in my head.
PORT. UGUESE.
Yes, no, that's what it is.
You did.
It? Okay, I was like, that can't be right. That sounds so weird. Okay, that's it. Nice.
All right, one more each.
Yeah.
Devin. Daiquiri.
Oh,
I know this one.
DAQUARI.
No.
DACQUARI.
Let Isaiah go. You want to give it?
DAIQUIRI.
Yes.
Has an I there? Wow, man.
All right, one more.
So, I mean, Devin got it because of firefighting. He got Fahrenheit. I got daiquiri because of bartending.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, here's one. Isaiah. Kernel. Like a popcorn kernel.
I know that one.
Wait, not like colonel.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Popcorn.
Is it not KERNEL?
It is.
Okay. I thought you were trying to trick me. I was just like.
All right, y'all are tied 2-2 based off of my notes, but I also didn't pay attention at the end.
Well, just give us one more word and we'll both try and spell it.
Okay.
Because chances are we won't agree. We're clearly both bad at spelling.
Yeah. All right. Conscientious.
Conscientious? Oh, gosh.
Okay. So, Isaiah, you can spell first, and I'm not going to tell you whether or not you're right, and then Devin, you can try.
Oh, dang.
This one's hard. It's so long. I feel like I need to write it.
Okay. When?
Yeah, can I spell it out? Sound it out. Sound it
okay.
out.
So it's like conscien and then okay. CONSCIENTIOUS.
Okay. And
you say
Devin,
conscientious, right? Not conscientiousness.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Devin, you try.
CONSCIENTIOUS. Is that what Isaiah said? I feel like I agree.
I don't think that was that the same?
Yes.
I don't even remember what I said.
Y'all both
got it wrong. Oh, we got it right. Okay.
Okay, we redeemed ourselves. I'll take a tie. Okay. I'll take a tie in that game.
All right. Here's what was left on the toast bingo. All right. Just mentioning TikTok. That someone was going to say United Airlines versus American. We were going to mention schools just with COVID. This one was really out there, but it was going to be if someone had suggested this character as a new Super Smash Brothers character, because a student of mine suggested this one, and he said Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I thought that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That someone was going to say something about Minecraft versus Fortnite, like which one's better. A joke at Spirit Airlines.
Objectively.
Okay.
I would play Minecraft over Fortnite. I'm not a Fortnite fan.
Devin mentioned something about being 30.
I thought about that today, actually.
Yeah. Halloween. Mark Cuban.
Oh yeah. Cuban's in the news.
Trump rallies. I was trying to bait y'all into saying that he could have gotten it at one of his rallies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Steve Nash. And the coaching stuff he's got going on. And then
that was weeks ago.
And if anyone said that the outcome of the Stars was unfair, like if anyone said Dallas was robbed, and so
their puck went into the net less times than the other team.
Yeah.
Well, I just sometimes whenever people are a big fan of something, they
did kind of get robbed in, I think it was like game 4, I guess.
It doesn't count now, Ben.
They had a bad call in overtime that led to the loss, but then it's like, you had 100 other chances to win. So
yeah, and it's not saying you would have.
Incidentally, all of the ones that I got that gave me my Topo Chico were given to me by Devin.
You're welcome.
Wow. So I'm predictable.
No, I think you're just.
Although some of them were easy. I was going to mention the Lakers. Easy one. Come on. And you baited me into 2. So.
We should find a way to make this like a thing that like people can participate in. Like they suggest what goes on the card.
Yes. So. Show us your toast bingos and make sure it's toast, not bingo.
Yeah. What we'll do is
imagine doing that with the next debate if they have it.
We should live stream the debate.
Man, yeah.
Guys, we should totally do that. We should we don't live stream it, but like we just get on and all watch it and we like live react to it. That would be so fun.
That would be.
All right.
And maybe play bingo with Trump and Biden's reactions.
Or at the least though, we need to get on and play Among Us together.
Yeah. My friend Martin actually texted me about that game this week too. So I haven't played it yet, but he explained to me what it was, and I'm down to play.
Hey, you guys need to download it. Get just familiar with it. It's way more fun when you play with people that you know.
So is it? I asked one question. Is it? Are you able to just kind of wait until the next person makes their move, so you kind of play as you go throughout your day, or does everybody have to be like on for the next?
It's like think of it as like a match. Like you play live.
Okay, yeah. So
it's not Words with Friends.
I remember back in the day. Were you in it, Isaiah? We had a mafia group text.
No, I was not.
Okay. I think it was with like Garrett and Joe and Mike and those guys. We had a mafia group text, and Dalton Hill was in it, and like whoever was narrator would text everybody on the side, and we would literally just play throughout the workday.
That's cool.
It was kind of fun, yeah. So I was kind of hoping to be like that, so that I don't have to be like constantly on my phone for 20 minutes. But I'm down to play sometime.
Yeah, try it out though, because you'll see why it's more fun to go ahead and play it like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Gotcha. Well, it was a good time. Everybody that stops by or watches this later, thanks for hanging out on the weekend toast. Josh, we miss you. Can't wait to see you. Yeah, wash your hands. Don't get corona. We love you.
Wear your masks.
We'll see you later.
Go Lakers.